Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be more new perfume releases of 2025. And before we get started on the video, I wanted to say thank you to Rose Forever for sending over this beautiful acrylic box that comes with a drawer. As you can see, it's already filled. And Rose Forever is a company that specializes in long-lasting rose arrangements. They're 100% natural, fresh flowers, and they use natural oils to preserve the roses. The roses come in different shaped boxes, different textures as well. They have velvet, suede, and then their crystal clear box, which is the one that I have. If you guys watch my videos, there is usually an acrylic box that sits behind me, and that is this one that they sent me, I think two or more years ago. I just wanted to show you guys because the flowers have really held up. I had selected the light pink because my room is light gray and white, but they were sold out. So they did send me this darker shade of pink, and I like the pop of color with like my little green plant and my Tiffany Mickey ears that I have sitting on my nightstand. They've sent me the bouquet, which I think is also very nice to gift. So I will have everything linked down below so that you guys can gift this to someone that you love. Now let's go ahead and get into the video. We are going to start with some fragrance mists. So it looks like Philosophy is coming out with 3 new mists. We have Pistachio Paradise, Coconut Rush, and Vanilla Hug. And when I saw photos on this, I actually thought Fleur was coming out with more fragrance mists. I mean, these look a lot like the Fleur bottles. I think the tops are a little shorter, but yeah, all of the mists are gonna have glycerin to deeply hydrate the skin, and then it's gonna have niacinamide, known to even and brighten the skin. So again, like I said in my previous video, I am noticing more companies are coming out with mists that also include skincare, which I think is a nice touch. So Pistachio Paradise is going to have notes of pistachio flower, creamy cinnamon milk, and warm vetiver. And then Coconut Rush is going to have notes of coconut, mandarin, and vanilla. And then Vanilla Hug is going to have notes of pink pepper and vanilla, orange blossom, amber, and sandalwood. And just in case you guys don't know Philosophy, they have had perfumes for a long time now. I don't see a lot of people talk about Philosophy as much anymore, so maybe this is their way of kind of like coming back into the game. So again, those are 3 new fragrance mists from Philosophy. We have 3 new fragrance mists by Rosie Jane, and these are body and hair perfume mists. So we have Birthday Suit, which smells like tangerine water, sweet apple, and lemon blossom. Beach Baby, which smells like orange spritz, ocean water, ylang ylang, and pineapple. And White Tea, and this one's supposed to smell like cotton blossom, lily water, and soft rose. And then we do have a new one coming out from Fleur. We have Mrs. Smith. I love the note of apple. And just so you know, a lot of these mists and different fragrances that have been coming out, I've been seeing Jerome Epinet. He's the nose behind a lot of these fragrances, so I thought that was interesting. But Mrs. Smith, this is going to have top notes of Granny Smith apple, watermelon and pear, middle notes of apple blossom, violet, pitaya, and red apple, and base notes of praline and musk. Then we have a new fragrance mist from Sol de Janeiro. We have Sundays in Rio, and this is going to have a blend of warm vanilla with spicy pink pepper and deep amber musk. This one seems like a little bit more like sexy, a little bit more nighttime. So again, that's a new one from Sol de Janeiro, and that's Sundays in Rio. Then we have 3 new mists from Boy Smells. We have Cream Dream, which has notes of French vanilla, buttercream, and blonde woods. We have Fruity Lips, which has notes of raspberry, cherry blossom, and cocoa butter. And then Lychee-licious, which has notes of lychee, peony, and sugared musk. And I did see that they were coming out with 3 other mists, but those are in October, so I couldn't really find notes on those. And then they're coming out with 2 new fragrances, but in looking up those 2 new fragrances, I also saw some other new releases from earlier this year. Some are new and some are 2025 reformulations. The reformulations, I'm not gonna go over the notes on those, are Cowboy Kush, Vanilla Era, woodforia, hinoki fantôme, and violet ends. The ones that, according to my Google search, are new are citrus, which has top notes of pomelo, Italian lemon, and black pepper, middle notes of mandarin and mint, and base notes of ambroxan, musk, and isoe super. Cocoa cream, which has top notes of coconut milk and vanilla, middle notes of tiare and white flowers, and base notes of tonka bean and musk. Rosy cheeks, which has top notes of black currant, pomegranate, and red berries, middle notes of rose oil and white orchid, and base notes of sandalwood and amber. And sugar baby, which has top notes of honeysuckle and grapefruit, middle notes of water lily and freesia, and base notes of sugar and musk. And these were released earlier this year. And then the two newest fragrances, we have Peachy Oud, which has notes of peach skin, tangerine, mimosa flower, marigold, white oud, and sugared apricot. And then Red Hot, which has top notes of black pepper, incense, raspberry, rose absolute, smoked papyrus, and cedarwood. Okay, so some celebrity fragrances. We have S Kiss Honey by Shakira. So this looks like it's going to be a new flanker to this line. So S Kiss Honey, this is going to have top notes of pear and mandarin, middle notes of jasmine and orange blossom, and base notes of vanilla and honey. And then Ariana Grande is coming out with a new fragrance from the Love Notes collection. This is called Plush Vanilla, and this fragrance centers around the vanilla accord, and it's going to have creamy sandalwood, warm amber, airy orange blossom, sugared petals, and cashmere woods. We have a new one from Victoria's Secret from the Bear collection. This one's called Bear Suede Vanilla, and this one is going to have top notes of saffron, middle notes of sandalwood, and base notes of vanilla, milk, and suede. All right, then we have a new one from Steve Madden. I didn't even know that Steve Madden came out with fragrances. So it looks like we have a flanker to Goldie, which was released last year. So Goldie was released last year, which was a floral woody musk. And now we have Rose Goldie, which is a floral fragrance. And this one is going to have top notes of bergamot, neroli, and red currant, and middle notes of tuberose, pink peony, and gardenia, and base notes of musk, amber, moss, and sugar. And then we have a new one from Juicy Couture, which I didn't realize they were still making fragrances, even though recently I picked up 2 tracksuits because I always wanted a Juicy Couture tracksuit, but I could never afford it back in the day. I'm like, even if they go back out of style, I'm gonna own a tracksuit. So they're coming out with Just Moi, and this has top notes of cacao blossom, magnolia, plum nectar, middle notes of creme de cacao, vanilla orchid, jasmine sambac, and base notes of cacao bean, vanilla ambrox, sandalwood, and warm musk. Okay, then we have a new fragrance from BIJOU. We have Alto Astral. I think that's how you say it. And this is going to be a floral aldehyde fragrance. And Jerome Epinette is the nose behind this one. And this is going to have top notes of coconut water, aldehydes, middle notes of incense, jasmine, and musk, and base notes of sandalwood. All right, then we have a new one from Nishane. This is Udo Lux Solus. And this is going to have top notes of Italian mandarin, ginger, tropical fruits, and pomelo, middle notes of honey and labdanum, and base notes of patchouli, akigala wood, and oud. So the first few notes sound amazing, and then the patchouli, akigala wood, and oud was like, So I don't know, it's like deep but also tropical and citrus. So definitely would be interested in hearing other people's thoughts on this, because again, the top and middle notes sound amazing, and then once we got to the base, my mind kind of switched. So if you guys have tried this one, you would have to let me know. Okay, then Fragrance Du Bois is coming out with Rude Cherry. This is another Harrods, I think, collaboration, because both of them have this kind of green label and it says Harrods on the bottle. So this one is going to be a woody fragrance, and it's going to have top notes of cherry and bitter almond, middle notes of saffron, vetiver, and rose, and base notes of oud, vanilla, musk, and ambergris. That one sounds like a fall time kind of fragrance. Then we have London Hall by Jukebox, and this is going to be a floral woody musk for both men and women. So this is going to have top notes of saffron, lemon, and cumin, middle notes of frankincense, labdanum, jasmine, freesia, and rose, and base notes of patchouli, cedarwood, leather, and vetiver. These last few sound a little more fall, or what I like to wear. during fall. Another one that sounds a little fall to me is Oud Voyager by Tom Ford. This is going to be a woody fragrance for both men and women. This is going to have top notes of geranium, pink pepper, and citrus, middle notes of oud, red peony, cardamom, and saffron, and base notes of oud, patchouli, vetiver, musk, and cypriol. This one I am excited about. I'm excited to get into store to test this out. We have Angel Share on the Rocks. So this is a flanker to the original Angel Share, my favorite gourmand. This is going to have notes of cognac, cinnamon bark, tonka bean, amber, and oak wood. Some notes, when I googled this, AI provided some additional notes, and it says that where Angel Share focuses on cognac, cinnamon, and tonka bean, Angel Shares on the Rocks adds bitter orange, grapefruit, lemon, bergamot, and aldehydes to create a fresher, more vibrant opening. So I would have to try this one because Angel Share has got to be one of my favorite gourmand fragrances, and I'm not a gourmand girly. The combination of apple, which they don't list, but the combination of like the fruitiness, the gourmand, and the booziness that I get from that fragrance is just my favorite. And I don't know how I would feel about a fresher, more vibrant opening. I don't know if that would clash, but I'm really, really excited to test this one out in stores. So this is again Angel Share by Killian on the Rocks. Then we have Raspberry Ripple by Jo Malone. It's a floral fruity fragrance for men and women, and it has top notes of red currant, middle notes of raspberry, and base notes of white musk. Then we have Peche Velours by Mason Mataha. This one is going to have peach, floral notes, and vanilla for a vibrant yet soothing olfactory experience. Then Givenchy is coming out with another L'Interdit. This is L'Interdit Le Parfum, and this is going to have top notes of bitter almond, pear, and apple, middle notes of mimosa, tuberose, and jasmine, and base notes of benzoin, myrrh, vetiver, patchouli, and opanox. I really enjoy the Givenchy L'Interdit line, but I find the fragrances to be very classy and something that I gravitated towards when I would go to work. And now that I don't go into the office, I work from home, I found myself not reaching for them just because I am a mood-driven person. So I think this sounds like a pretty version, but because of when I see myself wear those fragrances, it's not anything I need to get into store to try. All right, then Chloe is coming out with Chloe Le Parfum, and this is going to be a floral fragrance for women, and this is going to have top notes of orange blossom, middle notes of rose, and base notes of vanilla and tonka. Then we have the third. Now I've already talked about this one. This is Goddess Parfum by Burberry, but now there's notes. So this is going to be a fougere fragrance for women, and this is going to have top notes of lavender and raspberry, middle notes of vanilla, and base notes of leather. So I would definitely go into store to test this one out. I was not crazy about the intense version. The original is my favorite, and I don't know that I would like this one. That leather note is throwing me off, but I would want to try it in store. This is supposed to be vanilla, sweet, fruity, powdery, aromatic, and fresh spicy. So again, that's Burberry Goddess Parfum. All right, then we have some clean fragrances. We have Lake and Sky 1111 Lychee, and this is going to be a fruity amber musk with top notes of raspberry, cassis sweet, lychee, middle notes of peony, ambret seeds, and sugar crystals, and base notes of upcycled oak wood, hinoki woods, and ambroxan. Then we have a few coming out from Ellis Brooklyn. We have Queen's Caramel, and this is going to have top notes of caramel, maple sugar, wild honey, pink salt, middle notes of sheer jasmine, whipped coconut, vanilla orchid, and white chocolate, and then base notes of vanilla bourbon, amber woods, tonka bean, and musk. Now, I would get a travel. I don't know that I'll like this because I'm not a gourmand person, but every now and again, a fragrance will surprise me. The only thing I don't like is the maple sugar, because there are fragrances that get a little syrupy, and I don't like the way that would smell, but I would definitely pick up a travel and test this one out. Okay, then they are coming out with 3 fragrance oils: Ellis Brooklyn's Milkwood, Vanilla Santo, and Blonde Musk. Blonde Musk is gonna have top notes of bergamot, violet, petal, water lily, middle notes of sheer rose, white floral bouquet, and vanilla orchid, and then a base of upcycled musk, ambrettoline, and blonde amber. Then Milkwood is going to have top notes of bergamot, fresh freesia, middle notes of coconut milk, cedarwood atlas, and then base notes of sandalwood, clearwood, and amber musk. And then vanilla santo is going to have top notes of bergamot, pink pepper, myrrh, middle notes of ambrette, iris petals, and rosebud, and base notes of vanilla infusion, palo santo, moss, ambrox super, and cedarwood. Last is coming out with lychee rose perfume oil, which is going to be a fruity floral. And then they are coming out with a new fragrance. They're coming out with creme de clementine, and this is going to be a warm, spicy, sweet gourmand fragrance, and it's going to have keynotes of clementine zest, vanilla cream, and blonde woods. So that was a quick rundown of more new perfume releases of 2025. Honestly, the only one that I'm excited about is Fleur Mrs. Smith. I probably will pick up Sundays in Rio just because I always get the Sol de Janeiro fragrances, and this one is limited edition. I do want to try Angel Share, and I do want to try Queen's Caramel, but other than that, I'm not looking for large bottles of anything. Nothing has piqued my interest that much. I'm just completely burned out when it comes to fragrances, and I'll be picking up some travels and some mists. But let me know in the comments below, do any of these releases sound interesting to you, and if so, which ones? But that will do it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.